I am here, I am home, my battery's at 21%, which should be enough for me to make this video. Let's get into it. This is Bring Her Back, or what I would like to call Put That Thing Back Where It Came From, or So Help Me. The sophomore film of those two brothers that made Talk to Me and those Ronald McDonald vines. As always, I am unpaid and unsponsored, and spoilers, all the spoilers. If you don't want spoilers, you can go ahead and scroll. I won't be offended. Spoilers. Okay, here we go. Let's get something first and foremost out of the fucking way. There is a lot of people I think are going to have a hard time with this. It's scary, but it's a different kind of scary, which I'm personally not into the psychological horror kind of things. If you're going to give me a psychological film, just tell me it's a thriller and be done with it. But this is such a nice, dead center between the two that it works. And that's why I'm saying this movie, even being their sophomore film, puts them amongst the fucking greats. You could argue, Talk to Me would have put them in there, but I think that's a lot kind of like M. Night Shyamalan, where he made the fucking Sixth Sense, which was amazing, and then after that, no, they continued to deliver, but whatever, let's talk about what might be the hard things. Body horror! Lots of fucking body horror! Ass, blood, and guts everywhere! How about some dental body horror? Not specifically at the dentist, but tooth-related. Body horror involving children. Sacrificey horror, somebody being choked, somebody being drowned, PTSD. We're going to talk about child abuse. And on a weirdly interesting note, since Lilo and Stitch wants to put Lilo into the foster care system, we're dealing with foster care here too. Loss of a child, loss of a parent. I think that covers just about everything. But if you're thinking, oh, some body horror, it's probably like a bone sticking out or something. No. Think Evil Dead. Think Sam Raimi. This might be a stretch, but I would even so boldly go to say as think Hostel? Because some of it's really fucked up. So let's get into it, okay? So what's this about? We're gonna open with a video that says this is not a cult, but obviously they're doing some culty shit. There was a baby inside of a circle, and there was fucking naked Santa Claus. There was a woman being hanged, and it's all on VHS. We're like, what the fuck is that about? Well, then we're inside of an apartment with this teenage boy. His name is Andy, and he has a sister who is blind. They hear a thud coming from the shower that their dad's in, and they're like, what the fuck was that? So the brother breaks into the bathroom. Looks like the dad done slipped and fell. He done hit his head, and he died. That's triggering all sorts of things for Andy, because apparently his dad used to beat him, and the way he would muffle that to keep his sister from hearing is to turn on the shower. So not only does he fear showers from his dad slipping and dying, he's also got that every time he turns on the shower, he pictures being beaten kind of thing. Well, Australia was going to separate them. They were going to give Andy his own supervised unit kind of thing, because I think he's 17 going on 18. And Piper, who is the blind sister, was going to go to a foster home from a woman who was a grief counselor or some kind of counselor, and she had a blind daughter. Well, they get there, and the lady's kind of... She also looks super duper familiar, but I can't place my finger on how. I thought she was Emily Mortimer. She is not Emily Mortimer, but anyway. Turns out that she had a daughter who was also blind, but she drowned and died. And she's also taking care of another kid named Ollie. Ollie doesn't speak. But things were already weird because the hippy dippy lady, done picked up Andy's cell phone to fucking read his messages. And he called her a weirdo in a message. And she's like, you really fucking think of me that way? And blah, blah, blah. So there's already some animosity there. Well, then the next day, she takes them to their dad's funeral. But she leaves Ollie at the house. Well, during the funeral, Andy refuses to look at his dad in the casket because that is not something he wants to see. And hippy dippy lady was like, you gotta go see him. It's good for your grief. And then she's like, okay, you gotta kiss him. It's custom. So he kissed him on the forehead. She's like, no, you gotta kiss him on the lips. And he's like, no. So she kisses him on the lips. The dad in the casket, not the boy. And then she stole a lock of the dad's hair. Well, she's like, we need some cheering up. What do y'all want to do? And Andy was like, let's get drunk. And she's like, okay, let's get drunk. So she lets the kids drink except Ollie. Ollie is running around outside. Ollie, while they were gone at the funeral, done punched through the damn plate glass window to go outside because he was hungry. And he was like, I guess, trying to eat the chickens, and he was trying to get into the shed. And some weird shit is going on because every night, Hippy Dippy Lady and Ollie are going to the shed. Nobody knows why just yet. We'll cut to everybody passed out except Hippy Dippy Lady, who goes into the bathroom and pees into like a measuring cup and then pours it on Andy to make it look like he pee-peed himself. And apparently this has been happening a couple of times. Well, the next day she's like, you've been peeing yourself? That's okay, that happened. Well, me and your sister are gonna go shopping today. It's girls only. Why don't you and Ollie hang out around here? And Andy was like, okay. Well, Andy's walking around and he sees Ollie in the window. It looks like he's been locked into his bedroom. So Andy picks the lock to let Ollie out and he's like, hey, are you hungry? So they're sitting in the kitchen and now comes the infamous cantaloupe scene. Andy is slicing up some cantaloupe and he's like, hey, you can have some, but you need to either say something or you need to write something down. Let's just try to get you talking to some kind of point again. So Ollie writes something down. We don't really pay attention to it. But Andy slices up the cantaloupe. He stabs the cantaloupe or a slice of cantaloupe with like the end of the knife. And he holds it out to Ollie thinking Ollie's going to take it off the end of the knife. But Ollie takes the whole knife. And he's like, okay, whatever. He turns around to get a plate. Comes back. Fucking Ollie has not only eaten the fucking piece of cantaloupe. He is chewing on the knife. And I don't mean flat part against tongue. I mean pointy end. And it's going right in between his front teeth. Andy's like, Jesus fuck. So, he's dragging him out of the house. He's trying to get him to the car to the hospital. But there's like this white line on the ground outside. And like they cross the line. And Ollie just starts like fucking screaming. We have no idea what's going on. Well, about that time, Hippy Dippy Lady and the sister pull up. And Hippy Dippy's lady's like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Or something to that effect. She takes Ollie into her bedroom. She's trying to like calm him down. She's feeding him hair. She's playing this VHS tape, which happens to be from the cult at the beginning. Well, it says it's not a cult, but it's a cult. Apparently that's supposed to make him feel better. She fed him a lock of hair from the dad. And so while that's going on, Andy tries to take a shower again. He's trying to do some exposure therapy with that. But he's standing in there, and there's like one of those iced over windows or whatever between the shower and the rest of the bathroom. And he sees his dead dad's face, and it freaked him out, and he fell on the ground, and he hit his head. And the dad yells, the rain will kill her, talking about his sister. Well, he wakes up in the hospital. Apparently he bunged his noggin. Hippy Dippy was all like, yeah, you gotta stay here for a while. And he's like, don't let my sister play in the rain because she's blind. And you have a pool in the backyard where your daughter drowned, who is also blind, so maybe don't let that happen. She's like, okay. And then she takes her to play in the rain. She also takes her into her weird shed, gives Piper her late daughter's sweater, and lets her feel around in the freezer, which is conveniently housing the body of her dead daughter. Piper doesn't know that. We're seeing more of the VHS a little later on, and come to find out that basically it's a ritual if you want to bring somebody back from the dead. You have to find somebody who's a lot like them, and you have to kill them in the same way. But before you do that, you have to bring out like this demon thing and feed it like people so it can get strong and suck the soul out of the dead body and put it in the living body or something to that effect. And that's what Ollie is. Ollie is the little demon thing that eats people so that it can gather strength to put body in the other body. Andy gets out of the hospital. He comes home. There's a big fight. Hippy Dippy Lady pretended to be him in the middle of the night by wearing his body spray and punched Piper in the face so that Piper would turn on him. Andy is over her shit and leaves. Goes to the caseworker and is like, hey, this is fucking going on. So they get in her Humber Flube car, which they don't believe him anyway because, she was a counselor. But they get there, the caseworker says everything looks normal until fucking Hippy Dippy Lady's arm starts bleeding. And she's like, something's not right. Meanwhile, Andy's in the backyard using the bird bath to get into the weird shed. Sees Ollie eating the face of the dead daughter in the freezer. Screams at the caseworker. Caseworker goes outside, sees everything. They run to her car. Hippy Dippy Lady hits them both with her car and drowns Andy in a puddle. He dead. Goes the caseworker. Piper, who was at a ball game, came back. Hippy Dippy Lady is now getting ready to sacrifice her. Tries to drown Piper. Piper yells mama. Hippy Dippy has a change of heart. Lets her go, sort of. Ollie tries to eat her. She hits Ollie in the stomach. Ollie crosses the line, turns back into not Ollie, but a kid named Connor who was kidnapped. Piper gets away, and Hippy Dippy Lady is arrested. after being found snuggling her daughter's body in the pool. The end. 1 trillion out of 10. Okay, bye.